This is a post-Christian podcast.
Welcome to the Revolution Church Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to, what is this? Meet the Congregation with Jay and Caleb, as always. And we have a very special guest today, the very exciting guest. Look, I sound like Trump. Huge guest.
Our guest is huge.
She's gigantic. Spontubulous. Now I'm mixing her up with W.
That's W.
Yeah.
George W. Trump.
So Christie Gee from the podcast that maybe you've heard me on is our guest today, all the way from Los Angeles, California. Christie,
woo!
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello. I don't think I've ever seen you on video before, so.
I know. This is really fun and kind of the new norm these days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird. It's with my buddy of mine did a Zoom talk, but it got hit by porn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
On Zoom?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was on the Did God Kill Jesus?
Okay.
And then a bunch of porn, so they had to shut it down. Yeah, so I guess I thought he got attacked by a certain group of people, but I guess that's happening to a lot of people.
Huh. Okay, well, that's good to know.
So free porn on Zoom.
Free porn on Zoom. I'm starting a Zoom Bible study, so I got to keep my eyes
You
up.
got to keep your eyes up. They're tightening it up a little bit, but it'll be a really interesting Bible study.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Well, it's here now. It looks like the will of the Lord. You gotta watch this. Divine intervention.
So how is, we kind of have to talk about the COVID-19. We did a talk with a member from the UK, and
hopefully because we record all these in blocks and then release them staggered, hopefully it'll be dated by the time this comes out. Hopefully it'll be like, oh yeah, COVID.
Remember the corona?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be something.
That's very hopeful.
Yeah, hopeful thinking.
I remember podcasts. So how are things out in LA with all this stuff?
It's okay. It's I, like you, I'm kind of an introvert, so my life hasn't really changed much. And I like it more outside now because no one's outside.
Yeah.
So I feel like the world is more my speed now. But people in my area of LA seem to really be behaving, which is nice.
Good. Being
chill and doing the mask thing. I'm making a bunch of them today. I'm going to just send them to people who need them.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my little Martha Stewart project for today. Yeah.
You could turn into a marketing thing for your show and just put Christie Gee Podcast on the masks.
Yeah, your little animated picture on the front.
That'd be awesome. I wish I had that skill.
You could just screen print. That'd be cool.
Would you guys wear one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would. Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I got Jay as a cartoon file, so I can make him one too.
Yeah, that would be great.
Nice.
Back in the day when we did Revolution patches, it's so funny. Before we could afford screen printing, we would go to somebody's house and print out iron-ons on the computer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then iron them on and then cut the patch out.
I used to make my own MXPX shirts like that.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
I'm sure
I was such a nerd.
I'm sure they're blank patches now. Anybody who has them, there's nothing on them. But.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Totally. But yeah, it's weird, but it's good here.
It's just, I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
I don't know. It's so
know.
funny. I prefer to have the choice to leave. I mean, don't necessarily want to leave, but I prefer to have the choice to leave.
Yes.
You know, I also like going to dive bars and coffee shops to study. So I really had to put myself in check to prepare talks.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
You don't have your normal routine.
No, my normal routine is just done. So
I usually like to listen to loud music and sing around and sing to my dog, like really weird random things. And Mark works from home now, so I can't do that.
Oh, no. He doesn't want to hear you sing?
Well, I'm sure he's having like a Zoom work meeting and I'm like singing songs with my dog's name in it. It's pretty weird in the background.
Well, you can add him into the songs.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
true.
Yeah.
I'll be like, Mark, who are you talking to today? I'll write a song for all of you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just got a new boom box,
Oh, nice.
and I think they're called bump boxes. But
Bump
it's
box.
like blue. It's like got a blue Bluetooth on it, and it came with
Cool.
a microphone.
Oh, wow.
Karaoke.
Aw.
Yeah, it was really. Yeah, I turned it on to test it in my house, and Public Enemy came on,
Oh, yeah.
and my little girl Minnie, who's 2.5. She's like shaking her booty and spinning around. And it was really funny to like this hardcore like Public Enemy, and she's
Yeah.
like getting down to it.
That's awesome.
Very proud papa.
Maybe you should do like the DJs are doing and have like a dance party streaming so everyone can join you.
That's what I'll do.
That could be fun.
That could be a lot of fun.
Or I'll just do karaoke live. I'll do karaoke live streaming.
Yeah.
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah. I think some people have been doing that. That's a good idea.
So, well, I mean, we've done 2 podcasts together and talked about all sorts of random stuff before. I guess we'll be a little bit more head on this one.
Sure.
We have like 2 questions basically ever.
Okay.
We're gonna need to come up with a third question.
Oh, man.
While we're in the
They happen
lockdown.
organically, you know? That's
Yeah.
I guess COVID's kind of the...
I have 2 questions, and then I rely on Caleb to ask the rest. I like what you've done with that. So I guess the first question is how did you find out about Revolution and start listening?
Well, I actually heard about you guys a billion years ago, but I really, really started listening once I really kind of got to know you,
Okay.
Jay. I haven't really got to know Caleb yet, but that's going to change. But yeah, so I got to meet you and know you, and I'm a huge fan of the way your mind works and the person you are. So I was like, I'm going to start listening to Jay on the Sundays. So I basically like binge listened all the episodes of Revolution.
Oh, wow.
And
That's a lot.
yeah.
My brain is very chaotic, so that you must have some sort of weird special
I
ability
think
to
we're
listen.
kindred spirits in that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm still working on things as they come out.
Uh-huh.
Like I just never know. Like, what is this going to be?
Uh-huh. Right.
You know?
Which I really love about that too, is that you can tell it's not some rehearsed, I need to say this because it's the thing to say and
Yeah.
it's real.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the most attractive part about Revolution to you? Is just like the rawness, the aesthetic of the just kind of the raw realness sort of thing?
Yeah, the rawness and the reality and talking about stuff that isn't talked about in most churches, like acceptance and even quoting other people
Yeah.
that you read. You
Right.
don't get that a lot. So I've learned, like, I didn't know who Peter Rollins was, and now I'm like, that guy's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like listen to Rob Bell, and there he is. You listen to Pete Holmes, there he is.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I never would have known, but now, so it's cool. But and you guys don't speak. What was that word? Christianese.
Christianese.
Which
Yeah.
That these days gives me like really bad anxiety.
Same. Yeah, it's a trigger.
So yes, and so that to me was really what's the word? My brain is scattered. I need more of my coffee. Just I don't know. It hit home to me.
Okay, cool.
If that makes any sense
It
at
does. Makes a lot of
all.
sense.
Okay, good.
And you watch on a big screen, which is kind of terrifying.
It's fun.
Oh, you watch on a screen?
She watches on her television screen
What?
because she posts
Yeah,
pictures.
I have the Facebook app.
Oh.
The Facebook app on the Facebook Watch on the Apple TV.
I'm gonna start using like a screen. You know, like Barbara Walters.
Oh,
Whenever
yeah.
they shoot her through like pantyhose, basically, so she doesn't look as old. I think I'm gonna start using
Okay.
pantyhose to shoot me through.
Okay. All right. I'll look into that.
And dye my beard. I'm gonna
Yeah.
become extremely vain. Now I'm gonna turn into a TV preacher.
Oh,
That's what's gonna
God.
happen to all these preachers is they're gonna realize like,
Yeah.
why were these preachers so vain? It's
Yeah.
just like freaking
They're staring at themselves.
had to be on TV all the time.
Yeah.
And as time went on, the TVs got bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and more like
HD.
you can start seeing people's makeup.
Yeah.
Like even like actors, like
the granulated powder.
Like, oh man, he needs to exfoliate.
Totally.
You do your podcast, and your podcast blends a lot into kind of some of my early years, really. I mean, because you talk a lot about early 90s Christian punk rock music and a lot of the same, seems like we were intertwined in similar worlds.
Yes.
But why don't you tell us a little bit about your podcast, because you're here and I want people to know you. I want people to meet the congregation. And I think it's a good way to know you. I would start by saying she is the most bubbly introverted person I've ever met in my life. You're on.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that Jay said I am very bubbly on the internet, but if you put me in a spot with like a stranger, I'm just like in the corner. Like if there's a dog there, I'm cool. Like find me a dog and I'll be fine. But yeah, so basically, long story short, I had a blog many years ago where I interviewed musicians and people that I loved, and then realized no one's reading anymore. So I was like, let's go to the podcast form. But I was like, it's not going to be a music podcast, but if you go there now, it's mostly musicians. Jay is one of three people on there that doesn't play music. But I'm trying to really just talk to people and know about their real lives, and not like when I talk to Jay, like everyone wants to know about your parents, but I'm like, I also want to talk about Jay, like things that people aren't hearing in other podcasts. From like, I talked to like members of MXPX who I've loved since I was 15, and let's talk about life now and things that people can relate to, but also like really fun. And I also have people pick out music for the podcast, so I have a soundtrack.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Follow. Yeah, and it's really all over the place. Like Jay put The Clash, and my other friend put 2 Chainz, so it's all over the place. I feel the most happiest and the most alive when I'm surrounded by that type of people, like artists and people who are authentically themselves. And so that's who I'm trying to keep my podcast about. And I'm really bad with the words right now, but
that's okay. I'm always bad with the words too, so I get it.
Yeah, but I've had Jay on twice because it's funny. Like, I didn't really know you very well, and I had you on, and everyone loved you. Like, you were the most streamed episode ever.
Really?
So far.
So weird.
Cool.
You are like triple what the next highest one is.
I challenged Tom from MXPX to beat me. He should. I mean, he's MXPX. Come on.
But, yeah, so I've been having a lot of fun. I have some cool ones coming up, like Jeff from 5 Iron, Jeff the Girl.
Oh, yeah.
The saxophone. She's coming up. Matthew Pryor from the Get Up Kids.
Cool.
Jay, HE Creative. You know, with the Mix the Comics.
Oh, yeah.
That you always share.
Yeah.
They, like, reached out and were like, hey, we want to be on there. So
really?
that'd be fun. Yeah. So I need to do that. But as far as, like, the church community, you are the only one I think I have any plans to ever have on there.
Oh, wow. Weird. That's weird and cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I tell you that because of your show, one of our in-person congregation members, Frankie, who works for Rockabilia, I hope that's okay to say. I'm sure it's fine. He's a drummer, and he listened to your show and heard that I sang with MXPX, and then I told him I had a band. He's asked me to start a band with him.
Wow.
So I'll be just like, so if we end up doing that, I'll just be another musician.
Yeah, and
on your show.
The church guy will just be another musician.
So that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I claim merch girl.
Okay. Well, and you can tell everybody that because it took me being on your show.
Yeah, it's like you're a matchmaker.
To get an in-person member of my church to ask me about a band.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
Mysterious
That's really
ways.
cool.
Yeah.
I told Jay once that I had an imaginary band called the Pantyhose. So that could be the Pantyhose or the Pantyhose. You can pick however you want to take it.
Pantyhose.
So Jay's in my imaginary band. So Caleb, you're more than welcome. Anyone listening is more than welcome to join my imaginary band, the Pantyhose.
Well, Caleb actually is very good at playing the guitar.
Oh, nice.
I really wish I would have learned.
Yeah.
I should still learn.
Yeah.
Still learn.
Yeah, never too old.
Never too late.
Never too late.
I remember wanting to learn the guitar at 25 and somebody telling me like, yeah, it's never too late. And like I was old then. I was like, oh, I'm too old. Now I'm like 44. I'm like, I better learn before I'm gone. It does eventually become too late.
Yeah, right.
Just
then you're dead.
The reality. So anyway, so you grew up in Texas, right?
I did.
And
yes,
you went to church
very
there.
Small town. Yes, I did. Very Southern Bible Belt church.
Oh boy, me too.
Woohoo! Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are curious about, I mean, so many people come to Revolution out of like a broken church frame. Is that the similar frame that you've come to hear us through?
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up, so we lived in a small town, but we went to church in a bigger church outside of town that was very like charismatic, the speaking in tongues, the falling down, all that stuff. And as like I think I was 13, so that was very like formative years. So a lot of like creepy, weird stuff was put in my brain that gave me like severe anxiety.
Yeah.
As I got older, up until like 10 years ago, I was terrified. And when I moved out to LA, I was trying to like find a spot, and everywhere I would go, I couldn't seem to find like a place that either could answer my questions or just be with me in it. Like we get it, you know, or something. And so eventually I just kind of gave up and found you guys, thank God.
That's so weird.
But yeah, not like gave up on church in general, but I just kind of gave up on the fact that I was never going to find like my home that I belonged in. Yeah.
So you found us misfits.
I did. Yeah. I got my mom listening to you guys
now.
Crazy world.
Yeah.
What's your mom think?
She's like, well, my mom's like, she's very Southern, and every now and then she'll say a cuss word, but she's like, I know I shouldn't be saying that, but you know, and I'm like, Mom. And so I shared Jay one time saying something, and she's like, I like him. I like how he just says what's on his mind. I was like, yeah, Mom, it's okay. And so she thinks it's fun.
I spent a lot of years trying not to curse because I wanted to. I didn't want to argue with people over the fact that I said a cuss word.
Yeah.
And it's still probably the reason I don't drop the F-bomb ever. But I just don't hang out with... I mean, to say I don't hang out with other Christians, I mean, I don't hang out with a lot of people. But I just don't have a lot of that Christian conversation. I mean, they're Christians, but we just don't have that Christianese or that talk. Or there's no filter. And so, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying right now.
It's ironic because my first word was a cuss word, but you will never hear one come out of my mouth now, not naturally. They don't come out. So when I post things or people are cussing, they're like, Christy. I'm like, they're saying the things I can't say.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I only ever censor myself at church if there's physically a child in the congregation.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like if I'm talking and I look out and like there's a kid there, then I won't. But then like it'll go out, you know, online to like God knows who, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's so funny.
Choose your battles wisely.
Yeah.
But yeah, growing up in the small town church, I told Jay on the podcast I found his first book and I bought it because he had tattoos and I was like, oh, he's unlike everybody else I've ever seen. So I totally judged the book by its cover.
Hey.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the reason I bought it. Yeah. But I was like, because I wasn't surrounded by it, I was like, oh, it was like I was being a rebel or something. Like that was my like bad girl move. I'm going to buy this book, you know, instead of chicken noodle soup for the soul or whatever.
This Christian book, yeah, instead of the other
Chicken
Christian
noodle.
book.
I Kiss Dating Goodbye.
Oh God.
Yeah, I went to Bible college for a few months. I didn't last very long, but that was one of our textbooks in
That was a textbook?
school. Was that I Kiss? Well, it was like one of the reading material that we were supposed to read.
Wow. And now the author has denounced it, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, there's things in my books I would change, but I'm just glad I don't have to denounce it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
20, literally 21 years later after my first book, and I still don't have to denounce it. There's stuff that makes me cringe, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but it would have been an awesome early 90s church had the dream come true in the book, but that's...
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a parallel universe out there.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
I'm Batman somewhere.
Yeah.
So one of the questions do we ask most of the questions?
Yeah, sure.
One of the questions we always ask, and I probably know what you're going to say because you've made recommendations before, but we asked people if we could do something different or better. What would that be? So
help us help you.
Yes.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I have a problem with is that you guys aren't in Los Angeles. So if you could do that, just relocate, that would be great.
So why don't you do
Yeah.
that?
If I didn't have kids, I would be tempted because I could just live on Pete's couch.
Yeah. But no, honestly, I think you guys are doing great. And I was thinking the other day, it'd be really cool if you guys had like a YouTube channel so I could like have a playlist and like put it on in the background and listen.
We do have a YouTube channel, actually.
What?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm a slacker.
But we haven't used it yet.
Well, yeah, we have. Remember when Kurt said he wanted all of our podcasts on YouTube?
Yeah.
And so I went and authorized, so now it automatically sends all of our podcasts to our YouTube channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
I'm the last
well, now
to know.
I know.
But what other things would you like on the channel besides just the audio from the shows?
Like maybe, I think at one point I saw on Facebook that Jay was doing like random little 5-minute hey
Q&A with Jay's,
little thoughts. Yeah, Q&A. Yeah, that was really cool. Like maybe more of that.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't done a Q&A. I mean, you've been wanting me to, but I haven't done a Q&A with Jay and
I know.
a real.
That was one of my first recommendations, 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a process.
No, I know.
Can't have everything at once.
This is the lesson, young Padawan. You're teaching me patience.
Yes. That's the whole reason. I really want to do it, but I'm like, if I give it another year, he'll really learn how to be patient.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. But I think what you're doing is awesome. You guys are doing great.
Oh.
Well, thank you. I hope from this you'll get some listeners and people will say hi to you.
I welcome all new friends.
Yeah, we're trying. I mean, the hope is with these Meet Your Congregations that people actually do eventually talk or meet.
Yep.
You know, and develop some sort of congregation.
Yeah.
I know our Canadian listeners are starting to band together.
Great.
Aw.
Yeah, so we can get a Revolution Canada going.
That would be fun.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
That'd be cool.
Revolution.
Can we go visit them right now? Because that would be the best.
Yeah.
They're locked down too, though, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
You know, so no maple syrup. I don't know what Canadians have. Maple syrup and
Socialism.
do they have socialism too? Yeah, and they have, what's the name of the coffee shop?
Trudeau.
Oh, yeah, Trudeau.
They have a coffee and donut shop there, and I can't remember the name of it.
A Canadian
Yeah.
company? I don't know. Dunkin'
It's
Donuts.
a guy's name, I think. I can't remember now.
Can you guys, to your people in the congregation, send us donuts every Sunday? Because that would be cool.
That's a great idea. See,
Frankie
churches
brought
bring a lot of
donuts.
people with the donuts and coffee.
And that was nice.
Yeah.
We've had surprise donuts.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to watch I'm getting the Corona 15 if I'm not careful. Huh? I'm a dad. I'm just eating everything in sight because I'm bored.
Right.
I'm like, oh, my kids don't.
And I'm the opposite. I've had no appetite lately. I've lost 10 pounds since this thing started.
Really? It's when I really get hardcore depressed, I don't eat. But right now I've just got that mild depression.
Yeah.
So it's and then I buy treats for my kids, and then I'm like, oh, you're not going to finish that? Let me eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, I only have a dog instead of a kid, so I don't want to eat her treats.
That's good. It's getting bad. Well, thank you for doing this. And where can people find your podcast?
You can find it on Apple, on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher.
Everywhere, podcasts.
Pretty much everywhere.
Pretty much everywhere. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, or you can go to my Instagram and all the links are there.
Okay.
So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Stay
This
safe.
has been fun.
Yeah, stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
Cover your mouth when you go out and stay inside as much as you can.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome.
Be good.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
We'd like to remind you that our ministry is supported 100% by listeners like you. To make your 100% tax-deductible donation today, please visit revolutionchurch.com/donate. You can also learn more by clicking the donate section on the website.
Hi, I'm Caleb with Post Christian Podcasting. If you enjoyed this episode, you might also like The Sacred Collective. Do you think that the the declaration of God's death mandates that the body or the community step up to certain roles that were once filled by this ideological, omnipotent being, is a part of the observation of the passing of this once arguably literally or metaphorically present entity of God. Is that a call to the body to step up to looking out for each other and being love to each other, or filling a role that was once filled by something that may or may not have ever been there?
Caleb, that's absolutely fascinating thinking there. And yes, I wholeheartedly affirm that. I do think that is the case.
That was a Post-Christian podcast.